Alrighty guys, I did something this weekend and I can't believe I actually did it. So you guys are either going to be very happy with this one or very, very upset. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Yo, what is going on, part-timers? Zach here. And today's video, we're going to be jumping into Arknights. So I decided to take a handful of games on Friday night and I was like, what kind of games do I want to see? What kind of things do I know a lot of people play? Either it's been out for a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years, and I want to see what the hype is about these games. And one of the games that always constantly pops up, whether it's the community telling me about it or me just seeing it somewhere on YouTube, Twitter, is Arknights. Now, this game has always looked appealing from an art standpoint. I love the 2D and the way that those art styles look, but I didn't know that I would really like tower defense because I've honestly just never really played a tower defense game. And every time that I saw it from somebody else playing, I was like, maybe that's a little bit too high of an IQ for me to be playing. I just kind of like everything to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say simplistic, but kind of like, okay, well, you don't have to think like a ton. It's just kind of like, you know, you go through the motions in some of these different games. But on Arknights, I have realized that even after going through chapter 0, which I know a lot of people say it's a tutorial, which it basically is, pretty much just tells you like what do units do, what are the archetypes, and why they're useful. It does go very briefly over some of this stuff. I thought it was a good rounded foundation of like, here is what the game has to offer, and here's how it kind of goes from here. So when I played through that and I was like, this game looks and feels really, really fun. I didn't know that I needed tower defense in my life until I went through the tutorial all the way through chapter 0, and I was like, this is fun. Now, the thing that surprised me the most about this game was that the tutorial took it pretty seriously. It's not like super hard. Obviously, if you just kind of follow along, I think you'll get the gist of it. But if you try to put units in a different location than it's really recommended, you will end up losing the tutorial. And I just like, okay, that's crazy, because a lot of games, like, it's the tutorial. Like, you're gonna win usually if you just do whatever you want. But this game's like, nah, you need to know, because this stuff gets really hard. And now I imagine, what are other chapters like? What are other game modes like? If the tutorial is taking it seriously, I bet the whole game does. And that's a learning curve that I'm actually pretty excited for, because I know that I'll have to strategize and think about teams and what I need to do. One of the things that you may be able to help me with, I will show you guys like the team that I currently have, and I will also show you the units that I have. If you guys have any recommended teams, definitely let me know in the comments. There is a lot of members that you can have on your team. So I was like, I got like 4 people that I'm pretty confident in that are really good. And then the game's like, hey, by the way, you can have like 7 or 8 more people on your team. Who do you want? I'm just like, I don't know. That seems like a lot of people to have. What are all these archetypes and all these different units? And so I made a very rudimentary team. I feel like it's really beginner based, and it has got me through chapter 0, but I know that I need to tweak it out a little bit more to make it a little bit better. So definitely let me know in the comments if you're like, hey, this unit definitely needs to be on your team. But I've also not been spending too much resources on leveling these units, because I don't know how much like finite these materials are, or if you can grind them later. So I've just been kind of conservative and really just hammering some of the units that I know are pretty good from now, and just some of the different things that I've seen on tier lists. So definitely let me know in the comments. But overall, I've been having a lot of fun, and I didn't know that I needed to have this type of fun. I know that eventually I will probably get very angry at this game, but this is something that I think I will really enjoy later on, and just growing into the game overall and getting an idea of some of the different mechanics. It does seem a little overwhelming as a new player, mainly because you have so much stuff to kind of consider, but I think you can get past that barrier if you just play a little bit longer. So from anybody who wants to jump into it or didn't know to jump into it, this is my invitation to be like, hey, start with somebody else new like me, and we will progress together. If you are a vet and you're probably like, haha, I can't wait until you get mad, well, you know what, good for you guys too. You can come along for the ride and just watch me hate my life sometimes. That's fun. So other than that, the only thing I'm really kind of confused on is the currencies. I think I have an idea. So these dice shaped ones, they're called like Origin, I think is like the premium currency, but they look like they're currency that you kind of gather, and then you can swap them out for summonable currency to summon units. So let me know if I'm right about that, and also do me a favor and let me know if I should do that, or if I should hold on to them for like, I don't know what else they would be used for, but I know that you can convert them to the summonable currency. I just don't want to do that preemptively and then end up wasting the material, if that makes sense. So definitely let me know down below. And if you would, Also, let me know if the current banner is worth going on. I know that the shield or the defense unit on there is pretty good from some of the different things that I've seen, but I'm a little hesitant to jump on it. I still have my banner here for like 10 pulls left for 6-star guaranteed. So maybe I need to do that one first. So, but overall, I've been having a lot of fun with the game. I'm looking forward to being able to jump into the game and produce a little bit more content around it. I don't really know what type of content I can make as like a new player, because obviously I usually do guides and stuff on other games, but I'm obviously not going to be familiar enough with this game to jump into it. But I'm sure I can figure something out. Maybe it's just like me suffering through a stage that I find really hard would be enjoyable. But the final verdict here is that it's a really fun game. If you've ever been on the fence about it, I think you should jump into it and at least experience the first chapter, or chapter 0 rather, and see if this is the type of game for you, and then kind of go from there. At least that's what I've decided to do, and I gotta say that I do not regret it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.